Mark Red Larson coming to you from the Hastings, Nebraska Public Library. Um, I'm in the young adults room right now. They're being so kind to let me use it. And there's a lot of content in this room, let me tell you. So, but, but no, I want to just do a shout out to them. That's so cool. I've had a really good day. And that gets me to today's topic. As a society, especially I think in the United States, I can't say about the rest, we try and plan our day. We try to force the day. And I know maybe you've touched on this before because it's something I'm passionate about, but it's just like with the Trump administration, the tariffs, the whatever's going on, getting you wound up, it's just in reality, it really makes no difference in the long run. Very, very little. It's the world you have to live in, but in reality, it's God's world. And I know anybody who's watches or listens to this podcast knows that it's gone that direction just because God is directing me towards that direction. Um, but it's just like when I let God plan the day and do what He wants me to do, the day's awesome. It's epic. Because this morning, try not to move so much, um, I was not planning on coming to Holdridge, which is a town that's probably 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes west of where I live. And I hadn't been to Holdridge for a while, and I've never been to this library until just a few minutes ago. Um, I love libraries because they are very underutilized. People think they're outdated. They're not even close to outdated. There are so many resources that are there for people to use. Shout out definitely to all libraries. Go visit your local library. But he said, I want you to go visit this restaurant, um, which I found when I got over here for breakfast. It had changed hands, so it wasn't even open for breakfast anymore. And so I went down to this local restaurant, which was another one that Cheryl and I liked, but it changed hands last year. And Cold Shoot, I believe, is what it's called. And oh my gosh, what an amazing place to have breakfast or any meal. They're open all day. I had this quiche, which they make, the crust was epic. I mean, chef's kiss, definitely. The roll, one thing I've eaten well today. I don't need to eat for a couple days. Awesome coffee, and I spent probably 2 hours there and talking to all kinds of people. And anybody who knows me, that's a good way to start my day. But and then God told me, He's like, well, you might as well try the Y out because I'm a big fan of Ys, and I usually go to the one in Hastings. That's my home Y, which I'd never been to the one here in Holdridge, and very very nice. And just by it's not luck because there's no such thing as luck. I met this Tabitha who is an amazing person, which I think will be on the podcast soon. Um, she's got quite the story. She's got 5 daughters. Um, her and her husband farm. She day trades. Um, yeah, and it's just like there. It's just things just cross your paths, or people cross your paths, and I guess it makes me so I'm not worried as much. I mean, you still worry because I think it's human to worry, but it's just like no, God's got this. God has got this. And He directs, and people tell me, it's like, oh, you're hearing things. It's like, well, I don't talk to God like this, like where you and I are. But I do talk to Him. I mean, because he sends me all over the place. Especially this week, I've been all over the place, and I love traveling and doing new things. So that part I really do like. But it's just like, I go to some place and there's another one, and so He talks up, and it's just like, now I know why I'm supposed to be there. I think maybe I told on a Facebook post maybe that Cheryl and I went to this place in Hastings, which is a town the other direction, and we were supposed to go to the Y. Cheryl and I were supposed to go to the Y first, and then go to this coffee shop. Well, we go there, and immediately there's a gentleman who is like, "Yep, that's the reason why I'm supposed to do that today." I smile a lot, and it's like, "That was you." Um, yeah, and I've told you he wants me to write books, minimum one. Um, he is very ornery. I don't find God to be fearful. I mean, I'm sure he could get mad like a parent, and it's what he reminds me of as an awesome dad. Um, but I mean, people worry too much about the mundane stuff, and people would say, "Well, you need to be worrying about all this stuff." It's like I kind of surrendered that to God. um, I just I do what he tells me to do, or dress. Sometimes, like I told you, he tells me how to dress some days too, which is weird. Um, I mean, he reminds me of stuff. Yeah, but we get way too wound up, and life is way too short to be wound up as much as we are, and where we're pitting each other against each other, we're so extreme. It's like this is the way I want, liberal, and this is the way conservative. And it's like, probably somewhere in the middle is probably right. But these people don't want to budge at all, either side, I would think. And it's like, really, just love the person. And that's one thing I really don't care many times about like churches, or I think I'm on the down and out. Not all, but a lot of them are because they do this. Have you read your Bible? Have you done this? In fact, I was sitting next to a guy, and it's like, if I got that and I hadn't had any exposure to God, I would go running. Because I was talking to a lady yesterday, and it's like, I think I've told you this, that there was a survey that on what age of children they interviewed, 50% had never heard of God. Now, if you're not even heard of him, so when they start pushing this stuff, like churches like to do, they're probably going to run the other way. It's like these people are crazy. Like God tells me, He's like, you don't chase, you attract. You become a person that would be somebody who represents me. You entail all the people, all of the traits that I want you to have. So people like say, I want what that person is. I want to become like that person. And I think that's why, and people always have been attracted to talk to me, especially since I started talking, because anybody who knows me, I didn't talk much when I was growing up. I'm definitely not that way anymore. But people every day come and over and talk to me, and I'm honored. But it's because maybe I'll listen. I won't judge. I mean, as much as I can't judge, because it's easier said than done. Um, but everybody just wants to make a difference and wants to be loved. And I think if we remembered that, especially in the United States, that we'd be so much better off because we're not getting anywhere the way we are now. It's just it's just unbelievable how vindictive. It's so negative, and I'm not a person for negativity because negativity is a downward spiral. Um, and just think what God would want you to do. What would God do? Ask that. Um, because you won't go wrong. And it's just like, and maybe think that maybe my view on this is not right. And the thing is, I'm getting really tired of it. I've been blocking people on my Facebook posts and our people that are posting on my Facebook. And it's just like, I know a lot of them are not real. One reason why I don't care for AI, because it just makes more real fake in our fake world already. Um, and it's just, I think it's trying to stir the pot. I'm not so sure it's not the other side because we do have that side too, who is very much just as much as God. So you have to be careful because he likes to also put things in there to stir up things. And don't believe everything that's put on there because a lot of them's not really from the person. I block so many, and then it still is there, which I find very interesting. Um, in fact, I'm to the point where I may have to. I don't think I will totally. Where people can't post anymore or comment on my post, I should say. Um, you need to make sure you're careful what you believe is real on social media and pretty much in today's world. Um, like I said, that's why I think AI is really a detriment. AI has so much potential for solving some big problems. I would agree with that. But when it makes you into a person you're not or a thing that it's not, I have a lot of problems with that. And I think most people should, because it when you don't know what is fake and what is real, it makes the world very ambiguous. And then people just kind of like, well, everybody's corrupt, everybody's whatever. And I can tell you from very much that people are in general good and great. Just like the people here are letting me use this room here. Um, Very sweet of them. They never met me from Adam. You know, that's an interesting saying too. But they didn't, but they were so kind and they wanted to tell me all about their library, which is what I find in general with libraries. But in general, I've been to so many restaurants today. I've been talking to so many people. The barbecue place that I was just at is a couple from Colorado that started it here in Holdridge. And oh my gosh, so good. I had chicken mac bowl. enough for two or three people and very reasonable. A lot of protein for the price. So yeah, if you're ever in Holdridge, there's definitely some good restaurants. They're all on the main drag that goes through town. You can't miss them. And I like to promote people that are trying to make a difference in the world. And thing is, I think most people are, but they don't showcase that. They want to showcase the turmoil, that the tariffs are going up, the Chinese are going to do this or whatever, because that makes good copy. That's an old saying, but it makes people riled up. And that's why I don't watch in general the news because they do the same thing. And yeah, I just I just want people to love each other. It's so much better, and people just want to be loved. People want to make a difference. People want to be seen. Um, and do stuff like yesterday. I had a great coffee with a good friend over in Grand Island. Cheryl had an appointment, and I he had an issue go on. I don't know how long ago it's been now, where he was working construction, and the guy, um, let's see, was falling, or they had started falling in this Preston. Tried to help and capture him, and they ended up both falling. I think over 100 feet onto cement. And Preston's going through, like he said, how that 1 second can change your whole life because he lost one leg. I mean, he's really he's an awesome dude. But I have not been through any trials and tribulations that are even close to what he is, and he is an amazing man. Um, and he's making a lot of difference, more than I think he realizes. But we had coffee with his friend there in his apartment, and he's awesome to talk to. And just like, maybe we need to have more coffees again. Maybe we need to get off our phones more. Maybe, like Cheryl and I said, maybe we need to go back to like when we had community things. We don't do anything except for go to work, go to sleep, eat, and then do it again. And if we're not busy with that stuff, then we're on our phone or social media. And I can't, I promote stuff on there, so I'm kind of guilty with promoting that. But I also want to do stuff that helps through social media because it's easy. Easy to get addicted to that. Um, and when Cheryl and I didn't have power a couple weeks ago with that blizzard, it was weird not to have social media or any internet and no electricity. But it was kind of fun. It was like going back because we played, like anybody that watched my Facebook posts, played all kinds of board games. We played a really hard game of Scrabble. It was refreshing. It was really refreshing. And it's like, wow, yeah, this was simpler times, but I think almost better times. But every time has got its good and bad. And I'm sorry, I'm dealing with spring allergies greatly. Things are really, it's spring, and I love that. So, uh, I'll be over it soon enough. Um, but I just want people on this podcast. I mean, that I want to support people on this podcast, and I want people to reach out if they have a story to tell. I want them to show people, like I show people. I hope you agree with that. Show people around the world that are making a difference, that are caught their dreams, capturing their dreams, whatever it is, and um, and just reach out to me because talking's good, coffee's awesome, especially if you're in the local central Nebraska area. Um, I'm always open for that. I thrive on that actually, which amazes me that I do with my beginning. But I like Cheryl says, my wife, she said you are definitely your mom, and I am. I got that trait from my mom. I wouldn't have guessed that early on, but she never met a stranger, and I'm to that point too. I mean, I just love people. And I just want to help people, and I believe everybody really does deep down, but they get so wound up and they don't even think about helping anymore. They just think like this person's just going against me, so I got to be shout out to them because it's like that's not right. And the thing is, they're probably the opposite, thinking too when on the other side. And then when you got two, it's like magnets, they'll push apart. So, and I don't know if I got that analogy right, but you know what I mean. Um, but just let God take your day. Love people, talk to people, and you'll never be. I truly believe you won't be, in most times, let down because the world's a great place. It's a beautiful day here. The wind's blowing in Nebraska, which is nothing new there, but we're supposed to have, I mean, sounds like tomorrow even better, warm and then no wind. And we do appreciate those no wind days in Nebraska, let me tell you. So, but yeah, I just, it hurts my heart when people on the internet are so vicious, and there's no way. And that is one thing bad about the internet, because when you had it, when people were right there, you wouldn't have said half the stuff that you do there, because you don't have accountability. And yeah, you really do. You need to yourself need to be held accountable to what you say, and make sure you get your facts straight before you start touting stuff. And I have to remind that of myself too. Um, yeah, because it's just too easy to get caught up in what we think is real. Um, because I would guess most of the stuff on the internet is not real. It may be a version of the truth, but not. So on that, I'm enjoying this chair, and this is a nice room here. This is a young adult room. I can see there's a great big TV screen in front of me. Um, Go visit your library too, and go talk to somebody outside. Hopefully, it's nice where you're at. Get out. Maybe go to the library. Go have a coffee or whatever you drink at your local, and talk to somebody. Don't take your phone. Um, it's too easy to just avoid people, and that's what most people have done with their phones, is to use it as, I'm busy on my phone, I'm not going to talk to you. And wouldn't stop me. I would still approach you. And um, and I know I make some people uncomfortable, but the majority, I don't think so. I had some really interesting conversations that way, and that's what God is wanting me to do. I've told you, He has wanted me to show people their gifts and show people the way to using those gifts to make this world a better place. And I do truly believe He's amassing an army to change things. He's working. He's working big time. Um, because evil has been working many, many years. We have a lot to undo and to get back to what we really should be in this country. It was even that, even when I was growing up, it was different. I'm so glad I grew up when I did. I'm glad I didn't have the technology. I'm glad we had the time where we could be kids. We could use our imaginations. Um, what are all the stuff that we have, that my sister and I have as memories? What are these kids growing up now going to have memories? Their phones? They're not going to have the time they played outside. They rode their bikes. They went and, fishing maybe. Or my sister and I, we made roads back in some trees, and then rode bikes, and we had a go-kart, and it was awesome. I mean, yeah, my sister and I did not get along real well when we were growing up. Thankfully, we do now. But I have all the memories and all the games I played with my grandparents. All kinds of games, because both sets of grandparents like to play cards. And Cheryl and I are playing more cards now. And now we know how to play cribbage, because I played cribbage when I was younger and I had forgotten. But it's actually a very good game. But it's kind of refreshing to go back to that and turn the TV off. I'm so glad Cheryl and I don't have cable. Um, yeah, we have Roku, which is all right. We watch it occasionally, but most of the programs I find are garbage. I wouldn't let anybody watch them, and I am shocked what is put on TV, and the commercials even are shocking. And just remember, you're showing this to your children, who are going to be the future. And just remember, what goes in has to come out. Garbage in, garbage out. Um, and I do believe that is one reason why we have what we have, um, with suicide and gun shootings. I think a lot of that, not all, I think it's a lot of it's mental illness, but I think the mental illness, a lot of it, not all of it, is from hopelessness, because they don't see any hope. Because as all the media shows you, it doesn't show you people being kind and caring and godlike. It shows you the opposite. So on that, I think I've gone on long enough with this. I appreciate you listening. If you have done this far, the Dream Catcher podcast. God said He wanted me to do. I might be doing another one by myself. I don't know. He's lining up a lot of future guests today, um, which is awesome. And I just let Him take the reins. And if I do the actions He wants me to do, it turns out really, really well. So yeah, it's so cool. I wish I'd have, but I guess I wasn't ready for it then. Um, I'm ready now, because it is when I surrender. And yeah, surrendering to God is it's so awesome. It's so comforting. So I don't know. It's like you have somebody there, got your back. And and I do love that. So on that, I'm going to let you all go. I mean, I do thank you for listening to me on these where I'm solo. Um, I do kind of like doing them, but I also really like having guests. And I've gotten quite a few guests over here already in this town coming up, and got quite a few guests all over. I'm going to be traveling all over the place coming up, and travel's good. I love traveling too. Best education there is. So, on that, everybody have a great day, and we'll be talking soon. Bye.